The boats are always crowded when they come because the people don't have too many means of transport and do not have opportunities to get away from the islands and come to the mainland. By the mainland, I mean a bigger island. There's Father Joe welcoming the people. People are getting off the boat. And soon you'll see them picking up the baskets. The men already have taken a lot of the baskets off the boat. They were probably stored in the end that there would be more space for people to sit or probably stand most of the way. That's one of our catechists. And there's one of the teachers from the island. You see how they hang the baskets from their heads and carry it that way. Here comes one of the pigs that will be used for the feast. And another pig. Each village is all organized how many pigs each village will donate for this. Or there's Father Joe. They put the pigs in the trailer and he takes them up. We had a Jeep and a Land Rover, which there the women are getting their baskets and picking up the goods that they need to carry up to the village houses that we talked about before, where they will stay during this celebration time. Many of the villages who come from far have a house. Now this is a picture of the people on the shore waiting for the bishop. And this is pretty well moldy, but we're going to get the bishop and the seminarian off. There you see Andrew, Father Andrew Pong now, getting off the boat, and Bishop Stemper getting off the boat. And this is the celebration itself. The people are up at the church ready to process over to the place of Mass. You see the crowd. Unfortunately, they had erected a shelter for the priests. There we see them blessing the newly ordained. And this is the rhythm band. We sang songs and played the accordion and had harmonicas and for the feast day, for honoring our first priest from the island of Lihir. There is a passion play. This was, I think, the original for Father Pong. They did the passion play. They made special uniforms for the Roman soldiers. They're the sisters who came on the boat for the occasion, came to visit with Father Andrew, having our picture taken and celebrating our man. And then the dances begin for the rest of the day. And everybody will enjoy it. You see them crowded around. They took advantage of the place they had arranged for the priest, the shelter. But there's many under the trees. Everybody's happy. They had a special, one of our priests, Father Tom Burns, actually went to the matinee and saw how the people were involved with the liturgy and putting their native customs into the liturgy. So he took some of his men. Here the women are going down to the boat. The celebration is over and it's time to go home. Father Andrew Pong is standing there greeting the people as they pass by, probably thanking them for coming, or maybe teasing them about something because he has a great sense of humor. Babies on the shoulder, baskets on the mothers' heads. And here we're getting on the boat. You see the basket there on her head? And there's always room for one more. So there the boat is leaving. Probably going to some of the places, maybe 3 or 4 hours away. Father is taking the shed up to where they were building so that they could store supplies in it. That's before the hospital was complete. There are the sisters leaving on the Margaret. These are the people going back to New Ireland, which we would call the mainland there. Some of the priests and the visitors and the people who came over to help celebrate. And many of the people will walk home, which will be 3 or 4 hours. We kept some of the children who were malnourished with us until they were well enough to go home. They lived with our girls. We had some girls that we paid to and trained actually to cook, to help us with cooking. The children are going home after school, and there's one class gathering for a photo after school. Their sister hanging the laundry. This girl on the right in the front is now a sister, a missionary sister of the Sacred Heart, one of our group. And their sister, went to one of the villages. She's walking across the log bridge. Tomatsis is where these children are going to. And then we called them back for a picture. There's Cecilia with her little one, with a cigarette in his mouth. I'm not sure if there's any tobacco in it, probably just newspaper. And the girls were showing you how they carry their baskets on their heads. And they have bamboo in their arms, which are filled with water for drinking. There I'm having a drink from a coconut that they gave me, and sharing it with the little one sitting next to me. This kind of a view of the village, the houses. They sleep in the houses, but they don't otherwise live in them. They're usually outside during the day or under the house cooking. They usually cook under the houses and only sleep in the house. Sisters are working with some of the kids in the garden. There you can see the bamboo, see the segments. If you use one of the segments for the bottom. These people were using these bamboos to carry water for the hospital. The tank was empty, so they cut a piece of bamboo about 6 feet long and ram a post or something down through the center to make like holes all the way down that they can fill the bamboo with water and then carry it and fill up the drum at the hospital. That last scene was they were burning the grass to make a new garden to give it elements. Here we're getting ready for Corpus Christi, which is a major procession, major feast. The man is making holes, and he will stick those branches of special leaves and line a path. There you see the path they've made with the leaves on either side. The women are preparing different things for the celebration and looking after the children at the same time. Actually, they're cleaning the road. The man is making an arch This banner like this is made out of a plant that grows by the sea. They use the trunk of it and cut it and make little, like we would use crepe paper or something to hang from church. You saw the women carrying sand there in their baskets, which they'll scatter over the road to make it look nice for the procession, to honor Jesus as we take him around. That's the day of the celebration. That first man was Father Peter Vavro. Now this is another celebration, another Sunday when we're going into church with a special song. We're going, and Father Tom Burns was there, and Father Earl, who was visiting. This again is Corpus Christi. I was starting to say before, Father took a group of men over to Namatanai, where the catechist had introduced many traditional dances and songs into the ceremonies. And so the next time Father went over, he took his catechists along and encouraged them to do this with their people, to enter the traditional ways of honoring God and praising. And they're very enthused about that and really took it on hand and used their traditions and their own methods. For a long time they thought they weren't worthy of the Lord, but with talking and education they realized that they have their own special ways, their own special customs and ways to please God and to celebrate. And this is one of the young men from the village who is dancing before the altar and leading the procession. There you see the men are honored and allowed to carry the Blessed Sacrament instead of only Father carrying it. And there they're going into church. The men carrying the Blessed Sacrament and all the people following. Now this is Independence Day. This was 1975 when Papua New Guinea became independent. Otherwise we were a protectorate from Australia. But we were able to prove that we can look after ourselves. Like I said, the mines, they found gold in a couple of places now, so the country does have a self-sufficient income. But Australia has been very, very good to Papua New Guinea. Here are the schools passing, doing the march by. Different schools from the mainland and the islands. It was a huge celebration for the whole weekend. Like I said, Australia was very good to us. A couple times when we had earthquakes or droughts or any disaster, Australia was there right away with their relief and their medical people. There you see the siasi, the women wear across their chest. The girls wear that until they have the first baby, and then there's a special ceremony for discarding it. These are the teachers, the leaders from the villages, the men who help. We have 3, we call them aid posts, one on Massahead Island and 2 on this island in various places, where young men, actually they weren't young, they were middle-aged by the time I was there, we're trained to give medicines for malaria and do dress sores and do minor treatments. Here they raised the Papua New Guinea flag and took down the Australian flag. And then again the dances began. They've spent a lot of time making these mask dances. And it was a special reason, a special occasion to rejoice and celebrate. They have little pieces of bamboo in their hands that they're using like for a drum effect. Again, you'll see different dances going on in different areas in order to everybody have their chance to dance, to celebrate, to rejoice. And this is in one of the villages where Father went to have Mass and probably First Communion or some special celebration, because the children are bringing food and Father is giving out rosaries. And then they have the feast. There's the house boy, the house for the men in the background. Father is blessing their church, and that's the occasion for the feast. And so they're all enjoying the dancing. That is always a main part of their celebration, are the traditional dances. There again, Kokon is putting limestone on the head of somebody. Whenever I see that, I hope they don't get it in their eyes, because that would really be painful. But they're used to it, and they know how to act and how to avoid it. And the people sit and watch and see if anyone's making a mistake or doing it right, or just admiring it. And the man who composed this is surely watching also. Often the owner of the dance dances with them, the lead man. That's a drum that came from America. The missionaries of the Sacred Heart, the MSC priests, would collect medicines for us and pack a drum. There the children are all coming excited to see what we got. Opening the drum and unpacking it. Some of those materials will be used for bandages. We tear it in strips and use it for bandages. Some will be made into pants for the children or babies. And then we have the medicine, which was the real important thing, which we will use when we go on patrol and share with the mothers and the children, mostly vitamins. That's Brother Mike Gershie helping to get that box out, and His friend, Brother Francis, would have been the one that packed this drum. And so we thank them all for their generosity over the years, for many years. The sign said patrol, but it really didn't belong there. There's the boys with their harmonicas and Sienat and the rhythm band playing for a special occasion.